So good morning to everybody out there from Dumfries Ice Bowl for this the second day of the English Curling Association's Mixed Doubles Championship. We had 3 sessions yesterday, 3 more sessions today, and the first game we're looking at in the morning session here is between Owen Rees and Annabelle Martin, who are currently on 2 wins and no losses, and Andy Taylor and Jackie Taylor, who have 1 win and 1 loss. So it's the first end. Taylor and Taylor got the hammer via the pre-game last stone draws. 2 very good draws actually, both within the 4 foot. So they have got the hammer this first end, and we've got a couple of stones in play now, and Rees and Martin have got 1 in there back of the 4 foot, which is lying short, and they're also lying third short just behind that. So early days yet in this game. Both teams will be hoping to keep the momentum up and keep up with the current leaders who are not playing this morning. They have a bye. That's Anna Fowler and Tom Jagey. He'll be back on the ice at 3 o'clock this afternoon. But in the meantime, it's Rees Martin against Taylor Taylor, and it's the first end. So a draw there to front of 12 because a bit of a guard that line into the tee. Obviously, Taylor and Taylor last stone, so Rees and Martin trying to steal something here in the first end. There's still a shot on the right hand side for Taylor to come around and tap up the blue. So we'll see what happens there, but fairly open game so far. So a good tap up there from Taylor and Taylor. Pushed that blue stone that was lying loose at the front of the 12 foot into the centre, and an underlying shot. And you could probably repeat the shot again in the next stone, but I think we've got Rees coming around the other side to try and tap up the red stone on the left hand side there. So a good attempt there by up by Reese and Martin to push that red stone in, and from this angle here it looks like they are now lying shot and behind the guard, in fact. Quite tricky to see with the angles on the screen here, but it looks like the front red might be lying the shot with this blue behind it as second shot. But we'll only know once they get the measure out and the end of the end. Taylor's now bringing this stone into the house. That looks a very good shot. It's coming right in there to the button. It's just going to rest the back blues, and that's definitely shot now. And it looks like just one shot for blue then. While our mixed doubles players are playing on the two sheets here, sheets E and F in Dumfries, over in sheets A, B and C, we have a large number of young curlers, juniors in their school PE sessions on the ice, learning the rudiments of curling. Looks like they're pupils as young as 9 or 10, and this is a great initiative to have here in Dumfries. A very good junior section here, and there's a number of current and past stars of Scottish junior and senior curling have come from the Dumfries area, and it's all thanks to the dedication of volunteers who come out in the mornings to actually help coach these juniors. And you see the facilities here, and you realise how fortunate we are in Scotland here to have this facility replicated about 20 times around the country. So it's the second end now, and Taylor and Taylor are the first stone here, which will presumably be a draw around the guard onto the stone in the centre of the house. Indeed, that was the draw. It's left a bit short though, it's the top of the 12 foot. So this ends a long way to go, see how this end develops. The other game on the other sheet is between Harry Pinnell and Mia Andel, and Stuart Brand and Andrew Wilcox. Both teams looking for their first win of the weekend. So a good shot coming in here from Reese and Martin. That's a good draw in there to the 4 foot. These in line 2, and still cannot be hit yet. We're only at the third played stone, so I guess they may just be trying to tap the front and back a bit to give themselves something else to tap up in the future stones. But a good start to the end for Reese and Martin here. That one from Jackie Taylor, just catching the front guard and opening up the centre of the house. So I think the obvious shot here now from Owen Rees is to put a guard up and protect the two he has in the middle. He has got last stone, but he's got plenty of room elsewhere in the ring to draw a third one in towards the end if he needs to. But I think at the moment he really has to guard the front two, the two that he has. Otherwise they're a bit vulnerable to a double hit from the Taylor team. It's a good stone there from Rees and Martin. It's not quite full guard, but it's certainly something to take your eye off the shot. Still a gap through there for the hit from Jackie Taylor. Fairly close ice they're taking, so either the ice is running very straight or you could play quite heavy. Still looking at it again, but yeah. And they're just saying hack weight, I think. Just, or maybe it's giving an option, but tapping the foot with the brush is. No, he's now going for barrier weight. Bringing the hand across the stomach, that tends to be barrier weight. So a bit heavier from Jackie this time. No sweeping in this stone. A great shot. That's a great shot there from Jackie Taylor. That was the consequence of Owen not quite getting that guard in exactly right and leaving that hit open. That's a great shot from Jackie Taylor to leave him lying one. Stone's still open, so still a chance for Owen to hit it and lie to himself. But that's a great stone. Okay, so Owen didn't quite get through the gap there. He got the double on the front two stones and lifted a flying second shot. You could use that red stone to push the blue through, but I think Angel probably trying to take the opposite way of just tapping the red onto the blue, move the blue away from the red, making the chances of hitting the blue out a bit harder for Owen. The stones are close together, like they are there, red and blue, quite easy to hit the front one and get the back one out. If it's a bit more separated, obviously a bit more space between them, then the run back is a lot harder. So I think Andy's just looking maybe at tapping the red onto the blue, push the blue back into the house, still lies short, and give himself a chance with his last stone. Or is this his last stone? No, I think there's this is Jackie Taylor's third stone she's playing now. So still two stones from either side to come. So what's happened there is, yes, I can see now that Owen's moved up a bit. The Taylors drew a second stone in. They didn't hit the red onto the blue. They obviously played a bit inside the brush and it's drawn a bit more than they expected to, but they've got a second shot in there. So hit there by Owen, clears one of the blues out, leaves one blue still lying short. With the red in front of it, I think Andy will try and draw another one in here, possibly behind the back of the 4 foot. That would give Owen something to come to, but he may just decide to difficult to actually draw to and safely. Not a lot of room to draw to, and if you put someone in the 4 foot there, then it's going to be quite easy perhaps for Owen to hit out and roll in. I'm just wondering if there's actually a shot on the other hand here. He could draw to the back of the 4 foot on the other hand, and leave Owen the draw to the button. Or in fact, it would be Annabelle who would do the draw, but he's going around this side. I think he's possibly thinking of putting something shorter out as a guard, taking his one if he can. Certainly the guard on that side would take away the easy draw to the button that is currently available to Owen and Annabelle. Let's come down here quite quickly actually. Oh, he's missed them all. He's going to go through, I think, beyond. Yeah, he's going too far there. So just lying the one. Owen has a chance, I think, probably to hit the red at the front there, onto blue and pick up a 2. He can't roll very far, unfortunately for him. He realised it quite. Well, it's Madeline Annabelle to throw. So you have to probably hit the nose of the red, or slightly right of the nose to make sure both stones stay counting as shots. So it's a bit long, that last stone of the Taylors. It does outcount the one on the right hand side, and takes away the possibility of Reece Martin hitting for 3. And that was just a bit tight there, and it's going to be one blue for Taylor and Taylor, which will give them a 2-0 lead after 2 ends. So here we are in the third end. Score 2-0 for Taylor and Taylor. And Owen Rees about to throw his first stone of the end. Annabelle Martin's red stone at the back of the house, where she tried to draw, and it came through a gap between the red and the blue at the back there. So the red stone at the back was the draw which came a bit too far. Owen is now trying to hit one of them. He's hit the blue. He's got a jam in the back red though. And still uses Taylor's line shot. And yes, he is okay. He has the fourth stone at the end, so it's okay that stone at the back went out. You can't hit anything out of play until the fourth stone, the fourth played stone at the end. So that was the first chance of his opportunity to hit it out. I don't know if Owen meant to hit it out. I think he's really trying a tap back or a draw in there, but he's left himself lying two stones at the back of the 4 foot, but the blue of the Taylor still lying there in the middle with a tempting gap behind it where it could be pushed through. So Jackie Taylor's thrown her next stone, and it's coming down on the right hand side of the screen. It's in turn, trying to get round and I presume tap up blue a little bit, or even put a guard at the front there. As she's coming in, it's quite a good shot. He's got freeze in the blue. That's a good shot there. They're now lying two, and it'd be quite difficult to hit the nose of the blue, front blue, but he could get a double through the gap at the back if he wants to. Well, the real risk that he takes out at least one or maybe two of his own reds. So yet again they go up the ice, and I'm not even sure what they're going to play here. They've talked to each other, they've waved a few brushes about, and let's see what transpires. As I said yesterday, it's quite easy in a four-man game of curling when you can see the skip telling the team what to do precisely. When there's only two of them in the team and they can talk to each other quietly without demonstrating what would need to be done, it gets quite difficult to work out exactly what's going to happen. And there are options here to take the front guard off even, to go for the double of blues in the house, to draw around into the 4 foot from on the out turn on the left hand side of the sheet as you look at it. So we've got a close shot. It's coming down on the in turn on the right hand side. He's trying to hit the blues out. He's got the front one and just missed it by double. So he's taking the front one off. Still a chance to get at that blue that's lying there unless the Tails can replace the stone he just put out. So Andy showing Jackie the ice on the edge of the 8 foot he wants her to play, and then he's going back up to help her to add the sweeping power as soon as he can. You don't have to have somebody in the house in mixed doubles holding the brush for you, as long as you know between the two of you where you want to aim for. It can be quite difficult sometimes to visualize the brush at the far end. But here's the stone coming in. It looks very similar to the last stone from Jackie Taylor here. Similar line. Slightly heavier, perhaps you could tap the blue back. And that's certainly got rid of the chance of a double for Owen there, but you can get a draw into the little pocket there that's been created by the two blue stones. You can get a draw in the out turn round into the bottom there, just rest in the back blue. To lie short, and maybe at the end of the day he has a chance to get at least one this end. So just a little miss there by Reese Martin, just a little bit wide, a little bit heavy, just came to the back of the road and I pushed her back a bit. In the other game, at the moment, on sheet E, the score is Brandon Wilcox 2, Pinland Andale 1, and they are also playing the third end. So here we have Taylor and Taylor lying 2 shots at the moment. And I imagine that Andy's going to try and put another one right in there. Either right on the bottom, which would be probably guaranteed not to move, or just to the front and take his 2. Certainly, Reece Martin really down to probably just getting the 1 shot now at this end. And as in 4-man curling, taking 1 with the hammer is useful, but it's not the best result. It's a fairly cheap way to give away the hammer, just taking the 1 shot. But sometimes it's inevitable. We call it forcing the 1. Forcing opposition to take a 1 when they don't want to. They'd rather take a 2 or even blank the end. But forcing the 1 from a team when they have the hammer can be a really good result. And that's a good guard coming in there to guard that draw, which Owen tried to play the last stone. So we're here now, the last stone at the end, coming up from Annabelle. There is virtually no way of getting 1 out of it, but he could reduce the 2 down to 1. If the blue pushes the blue back, then only 1 blue for 1 shot for Taylor and Taylor. But apart from that, it's virtually impossible to get a red stone in there to take the shot. And this is where you've got to manage the game as a whole as well as managing the end. Losing a 1 here is no great disaster for Reece and Martin. Losing a 2 is slightly worse. You're not going to get 1, so the thing you have to do is just make sure you only lose 1. They do say curling's like chess, and in chess you have to look many moves ahead, and it's obviously the same in curling, but not just moves ahead in the end you're playing, but moves ahead over the whole game. Where are you in the game? How's the game going to pan out if you lose a 1 here or lose a 2? How much time you got to recover from it? So it's not just a case of managing the end, it's a case of managing the game as a whole, in the end, in the context of the game. So a bit wide, that shot there from Annabelle, so no change, and 2 more shots for Taylor and Taylor. Takes the score to 4-0 after 3 ends. Meanwhile, in the other game, Brandon Wilcox took a 2 at the third end, and they now lead 4-1 after 3 ends. So here in our featured game, Reese and Martin have decided to go for a power play. At 4-0 down, trying to get a big end out of this one. Taylor's reaction is to try, I think, and try and draw around to the stone in the house, but that's been left short, so it's another guard up there. It could be useful to draw around it. And we'll see, I presume Reese will probably try and draw around that blue guard first of all, and try and get a second stone in the house. Here's Annabelle Martin throwing her first stone here at the fourth end. Trying, I think, to get around the guard in the middle there. And this one's just running on a bit. In fact, she's trying to draw to the other side of the house. Split the house open, but that's going a bit too far. And that is out the back. So now, definitely a chance now for the Taylors to draw right behind their guard they've just played and start to get some action going on this left-hand side of the rink. Well, a bit short with that draw around there, but it could use it to tap up. Still got plenty of cover there to draw behind. Again, lots of brush movement from Owen there, obviously pointing out different options to Annabelle. I think he's going to try and come through the gap and draw behind the guards himself, or he's indicating the alternative would be if he splits the front blue off and gets his own red stone in behind the guard. So it'll be about a T-way shot here from Owen to try and get around behind those guards to lie to. And that was looking like a really good shot. They just caught the guard. Just no more. If he got around the guard, I think it was a perfectly placed shot. He just rolled off the guard and just not quite in, I don't think. So Jackie Taylor has thrown her shot here. Wait for it to appear at the top of the screen. Here it comes now. A guard or a tapper. It's going to be running a bit straight, that one. It didn't really much of a bend at all. It's just going to nestle between those two. Not doing much damage at all, but not really improving the position for Taylor and Taylor. They still have to get a shot into the 8 foot, fully into 8 foot to actually be counting first shot. So Reese and Martin, I think, see the danger of that front blue. I'm going to try and maybe get rid of the front blue that's biting, and that would actually bring into play their stone on the right-hand side, the red one there, which is removed by that last shot of Jackie Taylor. And I think it's just biting. It looks as though it's just biting the ring, the red with stone on the right. So I think Owen may be taking the blue away to leave himself lying 2 and also open up the centre of the house a bit for his last stone. Certainly it's not turning out a power play I think he intended to turn out. He hasn't really got the stones in play to give himself a big end. And that's just what Owen did play there. He played the hit in the front blue. Didn't quite get enough of a roll, so still lying the 2 stones, and the red bear available to tap up if required. So Andy now has to worry about what he's going to do, because if he leaves that red sitting there, it could give Owen a chance of pushing it up to lie 3. So Andy's going to try and get in there, really into the rings with Jackie. Tap up the blue, their own blue at the front there. Straight back would be a good shot. Leave it well guarded. But just a T-weight tap up here. Need to move it fully into 8 foot. Obviously, the further the better. It's very similar to the shot she played the previous stone, but just a little bit more weight. The ice is quite straight, I think, down that way. He's only taking 2 or 3 inches of ice for this shot. And obviously, if it was drawing too much, he's going to push the red in, but I think it runs quite straight down there with a positive weight on it. And Andy's calling Jackie up to sweep it, I think. He's obviously checking the line himself. Jackie will be sweeping this one. And that is drawing along. In fact, that's drawing onto the red. Is it going to go through the gap? It's a wick off the red there. That's a good result there at the end of the day. Slight rub off the red and rolls in behind the blue. The front red that they're looking at is not in, I don't think, yet. But that's a fortunate finish there for Jackie Taylor, just rubbing off the red and rolling in behind the blue. And now what does Owen do? He can do the run back double on the blues. Or he could angle the red in rather than the blue in, because that would at least make sure that if he hits one shot in the house rather than the blue shot, if he jams the blue onto the blue, then it hasn't made any improvement. But if he went for the red, and the red jammed on the blue, obviously that would be in his favour. So I think maybe hitting the red on the right would be a shot to play, perhaps rather than hitting the blue. But if it works, of course, if the blue does run back and take the blue out, then obviously it's a good shot. Again, it's down to the reward and risk factor. Well, that's opened up well for Owen. Didn't get the run back, but did clear the front blue, and but unfortunately took his own red second shot out as well. So Andy, I think, should put a guard up in this one, try and steal the one. he only needs to put a guard out short of the house to try and steal the one. I don't look at that one. Don't think it's in, but just leave that one alone. I would just put a guard in the front blue and leave Owen then to try a tricky shot with that front red. I mean, you are 4-0 up. I mean, are they doing any other shot apart from guarding the blue? Just leaves Owen with a fairly straightforward hit on the blue to take the shot. So you get two choices. You either force Owen to take the one by pulling a second shot into house, or guard it and leave Owen with a run back double, which would still leave Owen with simply one shot. Looks like maybe home to cover all the options by pulling a blue in behind the short red one, and then leaving Owen with a hit. But he has to be fully within the 8 foot if he wants to get behind the red one there, or leaves him a chance of a hit for 2. It really depends if that front red one is in or not. I mean, if it is in, then obviously he's got to avoid losing a 3. And sometimes it's very easy to overcomplicate things. I mean, at 4-0 up and he's got last stone, you have two outcomes you really want. You want to either steal one or you want to force him to take one. You don't want to have a chance to take a 2. If you guard up your own shot here, you're forcing him to take one, or you've got a chance of stealing one. So I think, in fact, if it comes. Yep. So really, that's not a very good result. It gives Owen a fairly straightforward hit on the nose in the front run to lie 2. Well, in fact, unable to throw this one. Gives a fairly straightforward hit on the nose to remove both blues and take a 2 and get back into the game. So here's a stone from Annabelle coming down. Oh, she's just slightly wide there. And so, in fact, Taylors did, in fact, steal a 1. And it's now 5-0 after 4 ends. But there was an opportunity there for Reese and Martin to get 2 back. But just slightly wide. And it's now 5-0 for Taylor and Taylor 4 ends gone in this game here in the fourth session of the world of the English mixed doubles championship here in Dumfries Ice Bowl. So back online there after a bit of a comfort break, and here we have the red stone, the placed stone at the start of the end. It's still at the back of the forefoot, the Reese Martin placed stone, and a good attempt the last shot from Jackie Taylor to try and push the blue up. Didn't quite go far enough, but they are 5-0 up, and they have to just keep this simple and not try and lose too many big ends. I mean, at the moment, losing a one at this stage would be no great problem for them. Similar to the last end, really, lose a one or steal a one or more. So here are the next sheet. Brian Wilcox against Pinnell and Andel. It's a bit of a congested end here. Looks like yellow are line one. Perhaps two of the front yellow, maybe second shot. And Stuart Brand just looking at how they can push that front blue in there and get the shot. So if we just push it back straight onto yellow, he probably end up line one. I don't think he'll get more than one, but certainly he's worth a try. So we can expect to see a fair bit of movement in the stones here. We'll go back to the feature game in a minute or two, but I thought it's quite useful to come across and have a look at this end. Pinnell and Andel getting the stones in. They actually took the last end, they scored a one the last end. So they've played all their 5 stones plus the place stones. This is the last stone of the end. There's 5 blue stones there, 1 blue stone to come. So Brandon Wilcox, 4-2 up, trying to get something out of this end here. Could be some damage if if it's a heavy shot, he catches the front blue too thinly. He scores it onto back yellow, and the 2 blues could disappear and leave a 3 count for Pinnell and Andel, but I don't think he needs to be that hard. He just needs to tap it up at into the button. It's coming down now. It's about back of house weight. It's maybe drawing too much. You've got to keep it going. Oh, it's coming down. It's staying straight there. Yeah, that's a good shot. I think it's possibly 1 blue. Oh, they're going to have a measure on it. So there's a measure there. All the stones, as you can see, in playing that end, and that's going to be a measure here on the blue and the yellow. And they're still trying to attract the umpire's attention. They'll now move all the rest of the stones away and let the umpire see the 2 that they want to have measured. And we'll come back and tell the result of that measure shortly. But meanwhile, over in our featured game, well, we still have 1 red stone lying short, guarded by 2 blue ones, and a red stone at the back of the house. There's another red stone coming in here now. He's going to catch the front guard, I think. Let's catch the front guard. In fact, guarded the way into centre. And that's the one shot. In fact, there's just the one shot there for Reason Martin. So we score 5-1 for Taylors. Good result for Taylors there, forcing a 1 out of Reason Martin. So it's 5-1 now after 5 ends, and it gives Taylor and Taylor the last stone hammer back again. Meanwhile, over on the other sheet, the umpire is busy measuring the stones. He quite close into each other there. Just adjusting the needle. It's going round now, and oh, so I didn't quite see what he signalled there. So, not sure what happened. We'll soon find out, but it's one stone for one of the sides, if you want to say that. I will not speculate until I see the scoreboard. And it was in fact 1-2 yellow, so that's a 1-2 Pinel and Andal. It makes the score 4-3. So back to our featured game, and we've a power play been called by the Taylors. And Reason Martin trying to get around that guard, and this looks a good shot here coming round. Get it right up to blue. That's going to be a very good shot if we keep going. Just died a little bit at the end there, still not quite far enough, but it's good. Draw behind the guard. And doesn't block the way to the back blue either. And that's a good shot there from Owen. He's just actually pushed his own red stone that Annabelle just played. He's pushed that up into the shot position. Corner frozen on the blue that was placed in the house. So Taylors have got to try and follow that in or push the blue up. I mean, the Taylors have got last stone, and they are 5-1 up. So a shot to push the blue up or even split the blue aside and open up the red, although the red's not going to go anywhere if they hit it, so they may even want to try and just ignore that red and just try and out count it. And they're going to try and come through the gap to face the red, maybe push it back a little bit onto the blue and leave themselves up with a possibility of hitting it out with their own blue later. And they're just telling us that Jackie's throwing us a bit wide. Is it going to be in the front blue? It's going to be in the front blue, and if he gets the right weight, that could be a good shot. I could angle it across, and Owen's got time to sweep it out. And that could well be shot, that blue, from this angle. There's a path through to it. If he wants to take it on, there's a path through to that. But again, Owen's got to try and, Owen Rees and Annabelle Martin are going to try and steal a shot at this end. There's a centre guard up for them to use, if they can. If you can get to the blue and roll behind the centre guard, it would be useful. It would be the back of the house though, so easily accessible for a draw round to by the tailors. But 5-1 down, you really need to get a 2 on the board here if you can. Stealing 1's good. If you can steal a 2, that'd be even better. And there's a guard at the front to use. Well, it was an interesting one. Obviously, he was going for the blue and just rubbed the front guard. He diverted the stone away, came through the gap and just missed the black blue. Back blue. So you could try the same shot again. The blue's now even more available, but yeah, Taylor's now going to try and draw around. I think to try around for the shot. I think that means possibly lying the shot at the moment, try and draw around the centre guard. Well, in fact, they weren't trying to draw around by the centre guard, I don't think. They're trying to draw around to the red shot there in the 8 foot. They just came a bit tight, caught the front guard, rolled across, and again, I don't think that's, well, it's difficult to tell from this angle who is lying what shot. I think the back blue is possibly still the shot. But where the front blue is beating the red in the 8 foot, I'm not sure at the moment. There is still a gap through to the back blue here if Owen wants to take it on. But again, no idea of what's going to happen here, so let's just see what unfolds. Well, I'm not sure what was intended there, whether he was trying to clear the front off or whether he was trying to come through to the back blue. He certainly cleared the front off. He's now got no cover if he wants to draw around behind anything, so he can open up the head now. The tailors have last stone. There's still 3 stones to come, I think, in this end. 2 from the tailors and 1 from Annabelle. So I think if the tailors come and put 1 top 8, top 12 to guard that back blue, then give Owen a chance of some cover to draw behind, or Annabelle a chance of cover to draw behind, but again, forcing they do the last stone. The tailors, this one looks like maybe coming a bit heavy, the way Andy's going back to the house looking at the back stone. Certainly coming into the house, and it's going to draw off now towards the wing, and it's cutting across quite a lot there. Is it going to be in for a second shot? No, it's not, and in fact it's probably over-curled a little bit. There's a good chance for Annabelle to get around to the face of that blue at the back, and she could tap it back a little bit if it's just to get the second shot. There's the free draw open for Andy. But he either comes to there where he's pointing or slightly further back. It's one case you don't want to be short, you've got a backer to come to. So you're playing T-weight at least. You don't be too short, you're too short, you just left Andy a free draw for 2. But if you can get around the face of the back blue, then he's restricting him to 1 shot only. So that's a good run there from Annabelle. Is now lying the short stone. It's fairly open for Andy's to hit, but there is a possibility of jamming in the back one. So you've got to be careful now to make sure he gets the right angle in this red stone. Again, I think it's going to be quite simple here. Just punch the red back, make sure you don't nose it onto back blue, and take your 2. Playing the hand there, which draws off the centre line onto the stone. The other hand's actually probably open to him as well, because it runs quite straight down there. And getting the high side of the red on the out turn would be no bad thing. Playing this hand, if he is a bit wide or heavy, then he has a chance of jamming it. But if it does draw too much, he's got the blue and is it 12 foot to 12 and 8 foot to come to and bounce off that onto the red. It depends what weight he's trying to throw. I think it's a quite heavy throw. It looks like a minimal amount of ice there. Stone's now on its way. And oh, I was wrong to that one. That's a very strange shot altogether. Whether the stone picked up or what happened there, but it didn't. That came across almost 3 or 4 feet. That's a good barrier weight, and that's 1 for red. So it's a steal of 1 for Reese and Martin. That makes it score now 5-2 after 6 ends. In case you're wondering what the number 12 you can see in that photograph is, the bottom right of the screen, and you find that if I do that, you'll see a number 11. Those numbers are just the camera position numbers, so that the commentary team up in the box here can see which sheet and which end they're looking at. So this is the away end on sheet F we're looking at now, camera position number 11. So now we're going for a standard end here. Taylors have had their power play, which in fact was successful. They actually lost the one. So it's a good steal from Owen and Annabelle on the power play. Here at 5-2, these two teams quite close to the table. Reese and Martin with 2 wins and no losses. Taylor and Taylor with 1 win and 1 loss. Leaders Fowler and Yegi not playing this morning. They have their bye. They'll be back on ice at 3 o'clock this afternoon. And here's Annabelle drawing right just past that guard. I need to keep that one going. I was going to draw away from the stone. Yeah, they should have probably kept sweeping that a bit more. Kept it on the line to the back blue. And at least got it frozen on the back blue. But it is line shot. It is guarded. And now dependent Andy trying to follow that round and maybe corner freezing it to set up a shot later on in the end. And our other game on the ice, the Brand Wilcox against Pinnell Andel game, is now all square at 4-4 after 6 ends. So a good shot around there by Andy Taylor to get that stone into the centre. Owen now trying to draw around. It's a bit light with that perhaps, and he's left it a bit short. Taylor's a lying 1, and obviously 5-2. They want to try and make something of this end, having just lost 2 singles in a row. Looks like they're going to try and guard that blue shot with another stone at the top of the 8-foot. that shot coming from Jackie, and that's a good stone there. That's blocked off that side pretty well. Owen are going to try and steal again, so he's looking around the other side here and try and get a draw around. But again, he's not necessarily going to last shot there, but he's going to try and set himself something up for the next shot perhaps. But whatever he does here, I think Taylor's regarding the other side. The 7th end, if the Taylor gets a 1 here, that'll be a fairly useful 6-2 lead going into the last end. The shot come in there from Reese. Maybe a little bit too heavy, but open it up a bit so he can actually use his own red there. Blue still lying shot. And he would put a guard up there. Yes, that looks like the best shot. Really block up the front. I think at this stage he's got to perhaps take his 1. I mean, he could actually, depending on the position, he could have maybe come round onto the inside of the red stone at the front and pushed it back out sideways. But it attempts to guard it here. But that looks a bit wide and is a bit heavy as well. Now the weight's okay, but it's just not drawing there. A little bit heavy perhaps, but it's just not drawing at all there. So there's a chance now for Owen to do something. He can push that red stone into the button behind the blue. Just a gentle tap up. If he's been... I don't think he can push the red onto the blue and push the blue shot out. It was actually a very skinny wick off the outside blue, but I think at the moment I would just gently tap the red up behind the blue to give himself a shot. Well, I think he might have been trying to go for the double off of the outside blue there, unless we just try to clear the guards away. But nothing much has changed. The long guard is no longer there. But the opportunity, I think, again, for Jackie Taylor to put another guard up here, guarding that red stone. Leaving it very difficult for Owen and Annabelle to get a movement on their own red stone. But the stone's on its way. Sorry, no, the stone's not on its way. It's still sitting back in the hack, discussing what's going to do. They've now settled on their choice of shot, and the stone is on its way this time. That is actually over curling this time. It's a bit lighter than the previous one, and that's over curled and doesn't really do much. Owen has still got an opportunity to tap it on red up or go for the in-off. I would imagine I would just try and tap the red across. I mean, stealing a one with one end to go is not perhaps sufficient for him, but it does put a bit more pressure on the Taylors, who will then have lost 3 singles in a row. So if you just tap this red across a little bit, maybe move the blue shot a little bit across the way. It does require a fine touch. So here goes Annabelle with her last stone of this end, and just catches the front guard. Again, I'm not sure what they were trying to do there, because coming in that close, they were going to do nothing but damage to their own stone. Really, I think a gentle tap would be a better shot. But coming that way, if you hit the front red, you're going to just move the red out of the circles altogether. But I think here, Andy is going to decide whether he wants to do a similar shot, perhaps. He is lying 1, he is 5-2 up. Taking his one would give him a 6-2 lead, with 1 end to go. He'd be 4 up, as he managing the game as a whole, as well as managing the end. You could ask whether actually it's worth doing this. He may decide not to take a shot, in fact, which would be an option. He could get a 2 by pushing the reds back, but he could also still leave himself with 1, and he doesn't want to be too, in case he's going for something. So maybe he's going to try and get the... he could get a 4 out of it. He could actually get a 4. If he gets inside of the front red, he could get that pushed back and take the double on the red and give himself a 4, and that would be game over. So maybe he's decided to go for the all-out option. Maybe the blue is probably quite safe. In fact, so if he gets this right, comes down the line, which Annabelle's last stone was on, comes straight down, but I think he's taking a lot more ice than that, so it's obviously a lesser weight of a shot. Maybe the hack weight tap back perhaps, or maybe just a tap back. Let's see what he does. Jackie shouting sweep is looking pretty good, but you need to get a bit more across the. And yeah, that's a great shot. He has got a 2 out of it, I think. Yeah, good shot for 2. So he took the gamble, and that makes it 7-2 now. And looks like handshakes all round, yes. So a victory for the Taylors by 7 shots to 2 over Reese and Martin. That gives in their second win of the competition, and both teams now are on 2 wins and 1 loss. So let's quickly move over to the other game that's in progress. Coming up here and there. So they are in fact playing their last end now. I shall just go and check the score. So here we are, and the second game is on the ice at the moment. This is the game between Brand and Wilcox playing the Blue Stones, and Pennell and Andale playing the Yellow Stones. It was 4 after 6 ends, and then Brand and Wilcox got a 3 at the 7th end, so it's currently 7-4 to them. And Pennell and Andale lying 2 shots in the house at the moment. So still chances here for them to get their 3 back. See both teams looking for the first win. This is coming round the guard, is it? It's coming round the guard. That's a good shot from Angela if he keeps sweeping short. Just a yes, that's a good shot. It's coming there for second shot. Stuart needs a break. It's almost as red as his t-shirt there, I think. Stuart reflected his t-shirt very well. A bit of red in the face, but that's got a good sweeping there. And coming for second shot, so that's a good saver. So Harry playing this shot round here. It's just going to be slightly too far to tap the blue, but that's another shot in the circles there. And I think Stuart now with 3 up has to start hitting the yellows out of the way. Get rid of as many yellows as he can. It runs them out of stones basically. Where there's a free yellow, you hit it now, as far as Stuart's concerned. He's 3 up, no need to mess around. Get rid of a couple of yellow stones and the game will be his. So that's job done on that one. One yellow stone disappears out the circles. But there's a chance here for, I suppose, for Harry to get a double off these blues. You get double of the blues, you'll be lying 3, and 2 of them hidden behind the guard. So there's still a chance here now, if you get this right. Pretty good shot. It's sweeping now. I think he overshot it a little bit. It's unfortunate. That's a great attempt there by Harry, but he's pushed the blue into the open. Yeah, in fact, the 3 yellows are well behind the guard. He's pushed the blue into the open. That's a really good result there. Stuart quite right, I think, guarding up the blue. He can't really move any yellows this time, so he's going to try and preserve the one he's got in there. I think if he guards up the blue, he will give a difficult chance. If he leaves the guard slightly off, then obviously you can get take out from Harry or Mia to get rid of the blue. So Stuart's just guarding up the blue there. Yes, so Stuart going to guard this blue on the left-hand side of the sheet to make sure that Harry and Mia can get rid of it. That was a great shot from Harry there. Unfortunately, blue didn't go too far across. Just the bend has shot a little more. He'd have got the double more cleanly, but 3 great stones, 3 great yellow stones there in behind the guard there. So Angela throwing the stone here. Stuart in the head looking at the line at the moment. And now heading off, I presume Angela knows where she's going to aim for. And we'll discuss that when they get to the far end. And that's a pretty good shot there from Angela. That blue is very well guarded. I guess the last roll of the dice, you really maybe can get rid of the front guards, Harry. If he tries to clear the guard off, ask him to do replace the guard again. If he could clear off both the front blues. I don't mean to do it. I mean the blue on the left-hand side, the blue just above the A of Hardy. But if he hits that one there, yes, I think he should try and hit that stone perhaps, because he won't have an opportunity. He needs to get access to the blue stone, and I think he needs to try and hit the front guard out of the way, because this stone coming around here will not be heavy enough to push the blue stone back beyond the 8 foot. So he really needs to, I would imagine, take the front blue off. This is the last end, and he needs to get 3 or 4 here. Mia looks a bit nonplussed by this one. It's running wide all the way down. So, yeah. Obviously he is trying to tap the blue back, I think, but obviously played it wide and there's no bend there at that weight. He seems to take a lot of ice for that shot. But yes, I think maybe if he'd taken the chance to hit the front blue a half shot and come across the blue above the A of Hardy and clear those front two blues off, he would have a chance then of getting access to blue or forcing Stewart to play a guard. I mean, at the moment, there's no real danger for Stewart to lose this game apart from him doing something stupid himself. So Stewart coming down there, towards the legs, just over the hog is good enough, and Angela sees it just over the hog, and that's blocked that path, so that's blocked. Well, it's blocked a hit down that side, but he can still draw for a second shot. It's not the game's not available to him any longer. They really have no chance of getting 3 out of this. So the last stone of this game is on its way down here. It's just going to be staying out too far, I think. Yep, that's not going to bend from there. It's going to be a 1, I think, at the back, for 1 yellow at the back. And that'll be a win for Brandon Wilcox, their first of the competition. So that's the end of this morning's session here at Dumfries. Next games will start about 3:20. There'll be slightly limited commentary on that because I will be participating in some senior practice with my seniors team. But hopefully we'll get the camera set up and for the future game, and you'll be able to at least watch the action without me prattling on about what you can see in front of you. So thanks for that for the moment. Have a good lunch, and we'll see something again later on this afternoon. Here from Dumfries, signing off, John Brown.